lesson. This will be a video on how to recover that computer you have. So we're going to start by going to our web browser. We're going to type in Ubuntu in our search, and then we can go to the main page here. We can go to desktop. We can go to download. Not the easiest way to download something. Alright, let's click download here. The other thing we have to do is scroll down here and say no, take me to the download so we don't charge for it. This is an open source operating system, so you don't have to pay. It's just nice to. Check our download speed here. So you're going to see we have a few minutes left to get it. We need one more tool to be able to make this work. So we're going to go get this tool called Rufus. I'm going to click here to download it. This is it. That looks right. So again, you do need a working computer to make this work, but hopefully you can get access to one. We're going to say no for checking for updates, because you're pretty much going to use it just one time. Let's see, we have 3 minutes left. In the meantime, I'm going to take one of my USB drives, and I'll plug it into the computer. Alright, here's my USB drive right now. I'm just going to copy this off because I need to use that later. Oh, hopefully that goes a little faster. Okay, let's just wait for the download. Okay, now that that file is completed copying, and we have the file downloaded, the Ubuntu ISO, I can go into Downloads folder and I see it here. I have Rufus open. We have this, and we have a USB drive plugged in that it sees right here, 4 gigabytes of data. Or, I'm sorry, 8 gigabytes of data. Let's click the CD drive option. And when it loads, we're going to select the Ubuntu ISO. Ubuntu. It comes right to the downloads folder right away. Looks like it's ready to go, and we're just going to hit start. Okay, that looks fine to me. It's going to download some extra files that we're missing, and I'm going to leave it into the right ISO mode. It's a little faster than the other mode, and I've never really found that I needed it. We're going to wait for it to complete, and then I can show you how to boot a machine off of it. Okay, see the ready sign. It looks like we're ready to go. I'm going to close this here. We're going to go click on the My PC, and we're going to make sure that we eject this drive. Sometimes it doesn't boot. I've seen that problem before. Alright, and let's change to a different video. Okay, so we're going to take our USB key. Got our reference computer right here. It's powered off right now. We're going to see right here on the USB ports. We're going to want to just plug in. It shouldn't really matter any one. When we power on, we're going to want to enter the start menu. So it's usually F12 on most Lenovo's or Dell's. You can see it kind of has a funny screen here. This one just has an old screen. It might trick back in. Whatever. So we boot from that. When we hit F12, it gives us this boot menu. And we want to do the USB Kingston Traveler. That is the type of USB device I have. You might have a different device. So booting up now, I can see this. That means that everything is kind of actually working here. The USB is working, the computer's actually booting from it. And I'm going to show you when we boot up how you can access your old data from it. Now again, this is going to assume that you have another USB hard drive or USB cable or internet to upload the data on it. Again, if your computer broke down and isn't turning on at all right now, if the hard drive failed, this probably won't be able to recover a lot of data from the hard drive, and you're still going to want to do it as quickly as possible with an external drive. Now, if it's something else, like Windows just messed up with the software, you can still use this to recover the data, but you really want to worry about the integrity of the hard drive and why the failure happened in the first place. Now it's going to bring us to this screen here. In this case, we just want to try Ubuntu. Again, we're looking for data recovery. Alright, yeah, so I guess you do get a couple random error messages. For the most part, you kind of have to ignore them. If the machine isn't booting up, those error messages will help us figure out what's going on. But in this case, there's not really much you can do. Okay, so I see on this computer there's an 80 gig hard drive. The USB I had was only 4 gigs, so it's definitely not that. So I'm double click on the 80 gig hard drive. You can see all this data is now accessible to me. So if I wanted to go into users, if I want to go, hey, there's my folder, and if I wanted to go into my downloads, I probably downloaded something at one point, and I could then take this file and drag it and recover it here. Now, the way this Ubuntu works is it normally wipes itself completely every time you reboot, so you wouldn't want to save to your desktop here. You would want to, again, have another hard drive plugged in, and you could copy that data over to it. And depending, again, if your data's copying over well, there's a couple other tricks we can do to make sure that your data copies as best as it can. Hopefully, you could just copy everything here and pull it over without too many problems. Usually when someone wants to back up their personal information, you go into, again, the root folder here. There's going to be a users folder. This is true for Windows 7 and up. And then you're just going to want to take your whole folder that you want to copy and just drag it over. And that should contain pretty much all the data that you tend to use. Your Google Drive data will be separate. Okay? That should cover everything for now. Let me know what questions you have.